just left Worcester, and it's chilly, isn't it?
Yes.
And there's the train track that we were moored right close to. We're in book 2 of the Nicholson's guides. These are the map books we use to navigate while we're cruising. And in this episode, we're leaving Worcester and heading north on the River Severn to our final destination, Stourport-On-Severn. We've spent the last 4 weeks cruising our narrowboat on the River Avon and River Severn. Our journey started in Stratford-upon-Avon, and we headed on the River Avon to Tewkesbury, where we joined the River Severn. We turned south to Gloucester and down the Gloucester and Sharpness Canal, all the way down to Sharpness. Then we retraced our journey back up to Tewkesbury and north up the River Severn to Stourport-On-Severn, where we came off the River Severn and joined the Staffordshire and Worcestershire Canal, where we were just in time to get back on the canal network, with rising water on the river. The journey took us 4 weeks, 128 miles and 29 locks. You woken up, boy? Let's get your life jacket on. Come here. Get your jacket on. Good boy. There we are. Got some breakfast now. You ready for your breakfast? It was our last day on the rivers, and we were looking forward to getting back on the canal and not having the worry of rising waters.
I think this is a brand new bridge. It's so, it looks like they're still finishing it. It's all brand new paint and everything.
It's not on the map.
It's not on the map, and there's a bunch of guys, looks like they're still finishing it off.
Like all the locks on the River Severn, the Veer lock is manned, with a lock keeper on duty between certain times. We put our centre line through the steel rods running down the side of the lock to help keep the boat steady against the wall as the lock keeper lets the water in or out. boat ahead were our friends David and Ruth on their narrowboat Life's Too Short. It was an unexpected surprise when they passed us, and we didn't realise how invaluable their help would be when we actually got to Stourport. We were approaching the last of the locks on the River Severn, Lincoln Lock, which avoids Lincoln Weir. It was a very narrow, overgrown passage down to the lock, which reminded us much more of a canal rather than the expanse of the River Severn that we'd had for the last few days. This would be the last of the automatic locks for us for quite a while. This was the very last stretch of our journey on the River Severn. A journey full of excitement and boats far bigger than us, exploring so many places we'd never been to before. And as we approached Stourport, it was time to get the windlasses back out to do the locks again ourselves. So we decided to come up onto the canal. We're coming through the Stourport staircase, and Ruth and David has come to give us a hand, which is lovely. You can see on the map it's quite a confusing area. Going up from the river through 2 sets of staircase locks, and then turning right at the top basin, into the next basin, to the facilities on the right hand side, shown by the little house. So there's 2 staircases here. 2 locks in the staircase. I have to make sure the top lock is full, which is what Ruth is doing now. She's cranking open the paddles to fill this lock, and the gates are open down there ready for Pete to come in. So just talking about the river's risen, was down in the green and now it's come up to yellow, so we're doing the best in coming off.
Nice feeling to be back in a narrow lock. Excellent. Across the river.
There's another boat coming down that lock, so we're going to be crossing in the pound in the middle. There's only one paddle working on this lock, so it's a little bit slower. Pete's just moving out of the way. We've got a higher boat coming through. There's Rue and Ruby gone to help, charging up the hill there for their mum. So Ruth and David were telling us that this is not the easiest manoeuvre to do anyway, let alone when it's windy and you're meeting another boat in the pound.
Yeah. Well done.
I was filming that. in the wind with a boat coming out of this lock. So second set of staircase locks, and we're thankfully got Ruth and David with us as the experts because these are new waters for us and they've done it quite a few times now. So their instructions were take a hard right here through the marina. There's some facilities hopefully that we're going to fill up with water and then take a left to the lock. Hamish, you're in the way. I'm glad we got Ruth and David because they know what they're doing, don't they?
Massive help, wasn't it? They know this so well. So.
Yeah. Big
that
help.
was the oddest set of locks, I think. Like 2 staircases that were offset like that.
Yeah, and then to have another boat
yeah.
meeting in the middle like that. So and it was windy, so not great. So that double wide lock there that comes up into the wharf, that's just for wide beams, and these bigger boats here that won't fit in the narrow locks. There's a sign that says that. That's an awesome boat there. Bean cruising. So we're really lucky that there's a mooring just there, so we're reversing, which is that loud noise, back into that spot over there. We've got the last mooring in the heart of Stourport. We've got both the facilities so we can use those in the morning before we head up the locks. And then we just arranged to go for a drink with David and Ruth later. So thank you for helping us through. Can you get up there, Pop?
It's a long way up, Pop, but can you get up there?
This is the highest the boat's ever sat, I think.
Yeah.
They're really low.
Good girl. Hamish.
And after a last exciting day on the river, we went to the Angel pub right on the riverside and had a lovely thank you drink with David and Ruth. What are you doing?
Putting my anchor away and my anchor ropes. Just bundling everything up so I can tape it up and put it all away neatly. That's what I'm doing there.
We're off the rivers now, aren't we?
Off the rivers, back to the canals, back to reality.
Back to being able to moor up where we like. Mostly.
Pretty much, yeah. Some of my little high bolts and things, U-bolts, whatever they're called.
Is that the floating rope?
This is the floating rope which goes around the bottom end of the anchor, and the idea being you pull the bottom of the anchor up so it comes out of the mud, and then you can basically extract your anchor from the bottom of the river.
Not that we've ever had to try it.
Not that we've ever tried it.
Thankfully.
We've only used this rope for important stuff like dragging hose pipes across.
Oh, when we were frozen in, yeah.
Across frozen waterways and things. It's been in handy. It's always good to have a rope. Comes in handy rather.
You two want to help, don't you?
Someone will say you shouldn't be taping all your ropes up.
Why?
Should be just tying them. Really.
Keeps them tidy though, doesn't it?
Keeps it tidy.
Well, it works for us, doesn't it?
need to get that in and get that salvaged, repaired, whatever.
Reconditioned.
Reconditioned, that's the word.
Check out our What's the Damage video if you want to see what happened to our propeller.
Alright, that's all that sorted. Done, job done.
Before we left Stourport, we took the chance to explore the canal basins area. They're the historic heart of the town and managed today by the Canal and River Trust. The basins are the key to Stourport's origin as a canal town and have been regenerated and returned to their original Georgian splendour. The Staffs Worcester Canal was built to connect the River Trent to the River Severn, part of James Brindley's plan for the essential movement of goods across the country. He identified land owned by Mr. Acton for Stourport and its basins to be built. And there's a nod to that agreement in the inscriptions around the basin. Today, the basins are a mix of new and old. The canal opened to Stourport in 1771, and by 1812 the 5 canal basins had been built. The aim of the regeneration programme was to bring the Stourport canal basins and their surroundings back into full, vibrant and sustainable use, and actively involve the local community. And this is Shipley's amusement park, one of the Midlands' oldest. The Tontine Hotel was constructed about 1772 and provided accommodation for businessmen, travellers and workers. After our little history walk around the Stourport Basins, we headed back to see what the river levels were looking like. You can see that the river has gone on to the yellow, which is a warning to proceed with caution. As well as the measuring gauges, there are these information boards too, displaying the current conditions on the river.
Yeah, so what's going on here, look, this is saying proceed with caution, water levels are rising, so we have an amber flashing here. So actually it's going to get worse. The levels are still going up. If it was this flashing amber and it was coming down, then you might make a judgment, well, I'll go on perhaps, you know, because it's going to go green, but going up, no.
Not with them rising.
No.
Glad we got off when we did.
So that's this point here between A and B, isn't it? Lincoln Lock. And I guess it's probably worse downstream, because when we came up through River, and hopefully yesterday there's a really strong flow, wasn't
stream,
it?
yeah, really strong stream.
I'd say it might even be getting towards red further down there, perhaps.
Well, at least we're not getting stuck on the river for a few weeks, are we?
Definitely.
Are you glad we got off the river yesterday?
Definitely, yeah, it was getting quite hard on it in places.
Yeah.
So pleased to be off, back on the canals.
Yeah, we feel a bit safer now, don't we? We're not going to get stuck anywhere with high water.
No.
So that's good. Join us next time as we head up the Staffordshire and Worcestershire Canal. Back to the familiarity of narrow canals, narrow locks and low bridges. Join us on our journey towards the Llangollen Canal for winter. Thank you so much to everybody that supports our channel through Buy Me a Coffee and YouTube Super Thanks. And as always, thank you to all of our viewers. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up and give us a like. And leave us a comment and tell us what you thought. And if you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button and join us on our travels.
I want you to know that every time you're away, I long for you so much I can find my way. We got air